move it down a little. What branch of the military did you serve in?
I was in the Navy.
Which war did you serve in when you were in the Navy?
Well, what?
Which war? Which war?
I was in during the Gulf War.
What made you choose the Navy, like, to serve?
I wanted to be in submarines.
Why do you want to be in submarines?
Oh, because I thought it was cool. It's something I'd always wanted to do when I was a kid.
How long were you in the Navy for?
Just under 12 years.
How old were you when you joined?
I was 18 when I joined, and I went in delayed entry, so I was 19 when I actually went active duty to boot camp.
So when you like joined the Navy and submarines, what was like the first thing you did when you got recruited?
When I was actually in the Navy,
Yeah.
boot camp.
Boot camp? How was boot camp?
It was different. They break you down, and then basically do a reset on you and turn you into a sailor.
Was it harder than most things you had ever done?
It was, yeah. They drill in your head discipline and pushing you to do things that you didn't know you could do.
Did you so after boot camp, like what was like the next step in?
Oh, well, then I went to the first level of electronics school, and that was about 6 months long. And then after that, because boot camp was in Chicago, and then I went to Connecticut for a submarine school.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I went to San Diego for advanced electronics, and that was about 2 years at that point that I was in. And then I went to my first sea tour.
Mm-hmm. How long is a sea tour, and like what do you do when you're out on one?
Typically, sea tours are usually 4 years long. And it depends on what your rate is, which is what your specialty is. And mine was 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
When you were like on submarines, what was your like job on the submarine?
I was a fire control technician, which is doing weapon system tracking and working on the maintenance on the weapon systems, torpedoes and missiles.
Did you ever like in practice, because you didn't fire any in the war, did you?
Fire any war shots?
Yeah.
No, not in combat. I was actually on instructor duty during the Gulf War, so.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did you also serve in the Cold War too?
Yeah. The Cold War was still going on, which was when the U.S. and Russia were at high tension, and either side could have triggered a hot war just by getting close together, with enemy subs or ships or planes.
Did you ever like get really close to any Russian anything?
I can't tell you.
Can't tell me? It's classified?
Yeah.
What was your sub called?
The first one was the Barbell. It was a diesel sub.
What was the second one?
The second one was the Spadefish. That was a nuclear-powered attack sub.
When you were in the Navy, what's the scariest thing that happened to you that you're allowed to talk about?
It was on the surface one time, and it was in a really bad storm. And because it was a diesel sub, you have to snorkel in order to get air to run the engines, because you could only run on batteries for 12 hours. And a big wave, probably 40 feet high, hit us, and then a second, then a third, and it forced us underwater.
Really?
And we started, we still had guys up in the bridge, and then we had the boat filling up with water. It took around 40,000 gallons of seawater before we got back to the surface. Went down to about 150 feet. I was sleeping. I woke up to a flooding alarm and jumped out of my bunk into a green, cold seawater, knee deep. That was pretty terrifying.
I bet. What happened to the guys on the bridge that were up?
They all lived. They were lucky enough that we got back up in time, and I'm not sure how they lived, but they did.
Were they still on the submarine, or did they like let go and swim to the submarine and came back up?
They were harnessed in, so they were basically tied to the bridge. And about 6 months after I got out, it happened off the Barbell. It happened again, and 2 of them died.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not good. What was the most fun part of being in the Navy and on submarines?
Oh, the camaraderie, the crew becomes, your brothers, and it's a bond that people don't understand unless they've been in it, in that situation. Uh, Going to the North Pole, getting out and get to walk around, that was really cool.
Did you come through the ice from below?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You stop and hover, and then you blow the ballast tanks and surface up through the ice.
So, like in the Navy, when you stayed on bases, where were all the bases that you stayed on in?
Uh, uh, well, with training, like I said, it was Connecticut, Chicago, then Connecticut, the sub base in Connecticut, and then the submarine base in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, on the Barbell, that was in Pearl Harbor.
Really?
And yeah, that was a good time. Then after that, they changed our home port on that same sub to Sasebo, Japan. And I was there for about 3 years in Japan. And then we went all over the Western Pacific, to Hong Kong, Thailand, Korea, Philippines. And did that for 3 years.
What was it like being in those different foreign countries?
It was really cool. It was Japan was a great place to go. And people are really friendly there. They like us a lot.
That's good.
And yeah, it was good to see how people live on the other side of the world and different from our country.
To kind of make you like appreciate what you have more.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially with some of the other countries, like the Philippines, is a very poor country, and makes you realize how lucky you are to be an American.
Well, like besides being on like going on sea tours and stuff, what do you do when you're like on a base and not actively doing something?
When you're on sea duty?
Yeah. Well, I mean anything like when you're just still in the Navy, like on the base.
Oh sure. Well, sea duty. Whenever submarines don't have a lot of room, so when they provide that, we have a barracks room. So we would just hang out in town, and we didn't know if we're going to be in for a week or 2 weeks and back out again. So we just tried to have fun in between training and maintenance and all that.
Did you get to go to like the towns that are like around the base and just do whatever?
Sure.